J.D. McKenzie, a district champion. They move on to the regionals after their victory the other night over Peebles. Coach, congratulations and welcome to the Saturday Morning Sports Line.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about that ball game. I think in the first half, probably one thing I talked about with Chuck as we were there to do the ball game, maybe probably a little too many turnovers to suit you, but the second half, we only had you guys for one turnover, so a lot better job in the second half.
Yeah, we got off to a really quick start, that 10-0 start, which something we talked about, how important it was to, come out and kind of establish ourselves early. And, we did that. And then they made a couple adjustments. And then it just seemed like we started rushing things a little bit. We took some ill-advised shots. And like you mentioned, we turned the ball over a couple of times. The only positive I can say about the turnovers, we only charted one live ball turnover in the first half, which we can live with a dead ball turnover where we get to set up and play defense. We feel like our defense is pretty strong. So, we got away from the game plan a little bit there, especially in the second quarter where we shot more threes than we wanted to, and maybe it wasn't as patient in a half-court offense as we'd like to be. But like you said, in the second half, we came out and, I thought we gave a pretty dominant performance in the second half and made it very difficult for people to score, and we were a lot more patient offensively, and like I said, only had the one turnover in the second half, so I'll never be upset about that.
I think also the thing that I noticed is the first time I'd had a chance to see your team in person was they really had no answer for Smith and Detweiler down low. Those two were dominant in the ball game. Yeah,
that's the way they've been all year, and not only are they, tall and big, but man, they can play basketball. Katie was perfect from the field again. I think she was 7 or 7 from the field, and she's been shooting over 77% from the, field all year long. So when she gets it and she shoots it, man, it's going in a lot. And Lexi did a great job establishing herself, and she ran the floor very well, and they both did a good job boxing out and rebounding, just controlling that interior part of the floor all night long on both ends. And like you said, they really didn't have an answer for it, and that's not just them. A lot of people don't, and we're very blessed to have those two players inside for us.
Well, and your guards out top were fantastic on the defensive end too. Ava Hassel and Taylor Schmidt did a great job, and also Molly Uber as well. Of course, she's been there for you in running the point, but they really did a nice job. I was impressed with the way Hassel played on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, they did a nice job. We made a little switch here towards the end of the year. Normally, Molly was picking the ball up for us defensively, and where she just doesn't shoot as much, we kind of felt like we would send her back in defensive transition and let Ava pick the ball up, and Molly's done a great job getting back for us, and Ava did a good job picking the ball up, and Taylor drew the assignment of guarding J.C. Justice, which was Peebles' leading scorer, and arguably their best player, and she did a great job on her all night. They set a lot of screens for her and run her off some different things, and I thought Taylor did an outstanding job. She worked so hard, it was literally the first time I asked her in a timeout this year in the fourth quarter. I said, "Are you a little tired?" And she said, "Yeah." And we put Ava on JC for a little bit, but overall the guards did a great job, and Clara Hash and Allie Smith did a great job coming off the bench for us as well, especially on the defensive end. And it's just been a story of what we've been doing all year. The guards have played well and did their job, and bigs have done their job, and then our role players coming off the bench have stepped in and gave us great minutes all year.
Coach, you mentioned about Ava, you mentioned about J.C. Justice there. She was a freshman. What is it with all of these freshmen? I was never that good anyway, but I certainly didn't have that kind of ability when I was 14 years old.
Well, I can speak primarily on Ava. I have seen J.C. play a little bit, and Ava and J.C. did they used to play on the same travel ball team together, and they practiced at Notre Dame a little bit, so I've been able to see them. But, you know, I've known Ava since she was a little girl, and she's been doing the things she does now, you know, at a very young age. And, you know, I just look at it, and she's just gifted athletically. The way her body is so fluid, and her quickness and speed and athleticism. I mean, a lot of that stuff isn't taught, and, you know, you're either born with it or you're not. The thing with her is, you know, I can speak on Ava's behalf, is, you know, she does put in a lot of extra work. Her and Taylor Schmidt come in at 7 o'clock in the morning a couple times a week, get extra shots up before school, and then, you know, Ava plays a lot of travel ball and things like that. So she's worked on her craft, and, you know, as a freshman, she's had a great year, and really stepped into a role of replacing Hagen Schaefer, which we were worried about. But, you know, she's done a nice job, and, you know, all the girls that returned this year, you know, stepped up their game. They've all gotten better, and they've all worked on, you know, getting better as a team. And I tell you what, our team as a unit with our bench and younger players, and to come watch them play, they're so excited for each other. And that's the best part about coaching is, you know, I feel like we've got the best bench, you know, around. They get us hype, and they get excited and keep us motivated, and they're very involved in the game. They're just not sitting there pouting because they're not in the game. They do a great job of getting excited for everybody. And when you have all those components together, man, it makes for a special team, and I truly believe this is a special team.
We were joking with Dirk Holler there about how nobody in Franklin Furnace is going to listen to our broadcast tomorrow because they're all going to be over at the Convo. I don't know if anybody from Notre Dame listened to our broadcast or not the other night, because I think everybody at Notre Dame, everybody maybe who had ever gone to Notre Dame, was in Jackson the other night. What a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. We knew we sold a bunch of tickets, and, you know, we have had a bunch of community support, and like you said, you know, past alumni and people who have worked there, and I mean, there's all kinds of people there that I hadn't seen in a while, and a bunch of them that I'd seen at a lot of our games. And, you know, unfortunately, not to put a sad spin on the story, I mean, that was the first game I've coached without my wife in 8 years. Our son got sick, and he had to go to the Children's Hospital that night, and Colt and Crystal had to miss the game. And, you know, they've all been with us through all these runner-ups in the district finals, and we finally break through, and they don't get to be there. So it was bittersweet, but, you know, after the game, I ran up to Children's, got up there about 3 in the morning, and gave them both a piece of the net. And, you know, my phone was blowing up all night the next day on congratulations from, you know, coaches around the area, Notre Dame supporters, and all kinds of people. So, you know, the support has been outstanding and tremendous, and, you know, everybody's wanting to be a part of it and back these girls, and you know, they're truly having a historic season, and, you know, you just don't know when you're going to get to see that again. Not everybody is promised to get to go through something like that, so, you know, we're welcoming anybody who wants to jump on the bandwagon to come out and support us on Thursday.
Well, JD, you got Waterford now coming up in the Sweet 16 game, the regional semifinal. Everybody knows about Waterford. Everybody knows about the history. Everybody knows about Ball and Kern. I think this really has a chance of really being a colossal matchup and a special ball game.
Yeah, Waterford, I mean, that's just what they are. They're Waterford. They've had a tremendous run, especially like the last 13, 14 seasons in girls basketball. You know, multiple state championship appearances, and they won the state a few years back, and they never rebuild. They just kind of reload, and Ball and Kern are special players. I mean, they're just a team that you can't make mistakes on. They are going to make you pay for any mistakes you make, and they limit their mistakes. And, you know, they do a lot of the same things we do. They like to get out and get after you, full court defense, and they execute extremely well on the offensive end of the court, and they've got great shooters. You know, we're going to talk about, like every other game we've been in this year, we feel like we've got a, you know, advantage in the post, and if we can take care of the basketball and get it to our post players and make them defend us, for 32 minutes. Like you said, it should be a great ball game. I hope it is. Not many times when we've played Waterford has it, been what you would call a competitive ball game, just because they've been, another rung on the ladder above us. But we feel like this year we've got something for them. We're going to have to play our very best ball game, to get out of Jackson and get up to Pickerington. But that's what you want to do. You want to play the best. And if you want to call yourself the best, you got to beat the best. And we're not going to back down from anybody. And I know for a fact our girls aren't scared. And I know that they are going to. The one thing I know every night that we're going to get is we're going to get A1 effort. Whether we're playing well, shooting well, whatever it is, our girls are going to play hard, and that's going to go a long way in that ball game.
Hey, you could tell that the other night, watching that game and watching your game, the teams are somewhat very similar. I would think the one area that you might be a little bit concerned about, and you certainly have to curtail, is their propensity to get out and run when they have the opportunity.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop them in transition. They're a very good transition team, and on the other side of it, they're gonna have to stop us in transition as well. We do a good job getting out, transitioning, and if we don't have anything running our secondary break, it's been a strong point for us all year. But yeah, Waterford has no weak area. There's nothing you can point at and say, hey, they don't do this very well. They might just not do it as good as they do something else, but they are very, very well coached, very well balanced, and there's no part of their game that's lacking. But we're going to have to do things to kind of stymie them a little bit, and kind of like what we did the other night with Peebles is, I don't feel like Peebles had but one or two baskets that I would call an easy basket. I mean, they had to work for all their points. They took tough shots all night long, and that's something we're really going to have to do against Waterford, is make them work for all their points.
Well, Coach, we will be there for the ball game. We are scheduling for 107.5 The Breeze on Thursday night over there at Jackson. Should be an outstanding game. We're hoping for that, and we're hoping to be able to talk to you about a regional final game.
Yeah, that would be great. One last thing I'd like to say is during that game against Peebles, as Lexi Smith pulled down her 1,000th rebound of her career. That makes her 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, and she's the second girl in school history to do that. Jen Arnson did it a few years back, and just awesome career for that young lady, and shows her consistency over the 4 years to be able to do that. A lot of people score 1,000 points, but very few go 1,000, and she's one of them to do that. So I just want to let her know how proud we are of her, and congratulations on a great accomplishment.
Oh, we certainly appreciate you bringing that up. Definitely want to take care of the people that take care of you, Coach.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, JD, we look forward to talking to you this week as that big regional semifinal game is just around the corner with Waterford. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later in the week.
All right, I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, J.D. McKenzie of the Notre Dame Lady Titans, our most recent guest there on the Saturday morning sports line. And Christian Downey in with me today.